Hey guys, welcome to Piano Challenge number 42. Today we're going to talk about polyrhythms and 4 against 3 and 3 against 2. You definitely want to download the music for this, the handout, the PDF. So go back to pianoandwilly.com/challenge, put in your name and email, and you can grab this stuff. All right, so first of all, what is a polyrhythm? So polyrhythm is basically two different rhythms, poly, two, right? So if you have... I still got the drums on here, so let me shut that off. So if I, what you call it? If I play just like 2 in the left hand and 3 in the right hand, right? So I mean, I had 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Or vice versa, 2 in the right hand, 3 in the left hand. All right, so that's a polyrhythm. Today we're going to do 4. That's going to be... Or if, like, sometimes what's helpful is like to play like 4 notes. Right, so let's talk about how this is done. The first thing you want to do is you want to start by, so see, I'm going to do 4 against 3. Oh, and by the way, I was supposed to mention this in the last challenge, why I say against in air quotes like that. The reason is that I don't view it as they're against one another, right? So the rhythms are not like against one another. They're not trying to compete against one another, right? But what's happening is that they're kind of rawing into one another, right? So that's why we say that they're against one another. So 4 against 3, 3 against 4, all right? And then what's happening is the ear might want to hear the 4 or hear the 3, but when you put them side by side, it's like, whoa, it kind of sounds a little bit weird. But that's what's really cool, is that when you start to utilize this in music, it's really cool. Especially like if you're playing in 4 and then you move to 3, or you're playing in 3 and then you move into 4, it's especially very, very effective. And we'll do that on gigs quite a bit. All right. So anyway, to start, I start by putting out 3 groupings of 4, okay? So I'm going to do 4 over 3, so I'm going to do 3 groupings of 4. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to now put slur marks over 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, but then also into a grouping of 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right? So now if you look at this, anytime you're going to try and figure out a subdivision, you just multiply these two numbers by each other. So 4 times 3 is 12. So that means you should have 12 tick marks down here, which you do. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Right? And then you see what I'm doing is I'm breaking up into a grouping of 4, 4, 4, and 3, 3, 3, 3. So there's 4 groupings of 3, 3 groupings of 4. All right. So now what this means is everywhere where this arc is on the down slope right here, that's where you're going to have a hit. So you're going to have a hit right here. You're going to have a hit right here, right? Because this is the beginning. So you're only going to have a hit at the beginning of the down slope. You're going to have a hit right here, a hit right here, a hit right here, and a hit right here, all right? An attack, all right? So what we do is we will put in our subdivision. So here I just put in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 in, all right? So remember, 4 times 3 is 12. 3 times 4 is 12. So we're going to have to subdivide that 12. So we do that in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 in, all right? Then what I do is I duplicate that number, okay, those numbers, because the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm now going to, see this right here? So see, this downslope right here is on 1 and 2. Downslope is on and 3, and this is on 4, and this is on and. All right. So what I'm doing is these top groupings right here, I'm representing them in my subdivision. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and. All right. The bottom ones here are on the bottom subdivision. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and, all right? And then last of all, I could just kind of like put in my, my hands here. So now I know that's the top hand, this is the bottom hand. Now, I have a play along track with this lesson, which is going to make it a little bit easier for you, all right? But to start, I would just do one hand at a time. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and. So you see how I'm just doing the right hand to start, then I brought in the left hand, I just started on beat 1, and I tried to do beat 1 and 3, and trying to bring in beat 1, 3, and 5. Now, what will make this a lot easier for you is to play along with this play along track. So let me put this play along track on here for you, and you see what's going on. All right, so. So you hear the right hand, all right, or you hear this, the snare drum, right, is that kind of side stick on the snare, right? That is the top line here. And the bass drum is the bottom line, all right? So now you could try playing each one individually and then trying to do them together. So you see, I can have a lot of fun with that. I just started to apply some chords to it: C minor, B flat, and A flat, G, and just hitting a C down here. You could play around with that. You could do scales on that. You know, you could do like pentatonic scales. That would be kind of cool, along with chords. So anyway, the point is, you start just by kind of understanding, oh, this is how it's kind of broken down, and then this is what it feels like, and you just try playing along with that play along track. Now, I also have a play along track for 3 against 2. Now, in this case, the bass drum, let me do this again. The bass drum is doing a 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So see how I'm switching? 1, 2, 3, 1. So doing 3 in the right hand, now the left hand. how this can really start to change your playing? Because when playing along with this subdivision like this, see how I'm starting to I kind of bring in the 3 against 2, but I don't have to always do 3 against 2. But you see how I can get some really cool sounds there by just having that underlying beat with there. Right, so I can have a lot of fun just kind of like playing around with that and just grooving, and whatever grooves you know, you could try some of that. That's kind of cool, like that chordal stuff. You know, is kind of neat on like a C minor-esque kind of sound. But anyway, try going through and playing the 4 against 3, the 3 against 2. Try switching between the hands. Download the track. Be sure to go back to pianowithwillie.com/challenge. Remember, these challenges are not likely going to stay on the wider internet, all right? So if you're seeing this on some other site than Piano with Willie, it might not be on there for long, okay? It's kind of like sometimes we take them down, we put them back up and whatnot. So if you really want to make sure you always have access to this material, just make sure you go back to pianowithwillie.com/challenge, put in your name and email address, and I'll set up a free account for you. Absolutely no charge. Don't have to put in any credit card information or anything like that. All right, so see you in the next challenge.